This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 198 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. Welcome to the wackiest and slap-happiest hour of video game shenanigans on the Internet. Yep, definitely don't like that. I'm your host and master of ceremonies, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me, as always, is Wacky Races winner Alex Arona.
What's a Wacky Races?
If you have to ask, you can't afford one.
I wanted the movie, the Speed Racer movie, but of Wacky Races. The Speed Racer movie, very underrated.
I'm gonna drink now. That's 100 proof. Also with me is man from the future with his flying car, Joel DeWitt.
I think I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Do tell.
No.
Alright. Well then, we don't want to forget our very own Gargamel, Alec Parks.
If I can just capture a few more Smurfs, I can cure the aging process.
Alex isn't going to comment this week.
What, on the Smurfs? Big hot take on the Smurfs? What? I got nothing. You want to talk about trolls?
He's all about the Smurfs.
The Smurfs are the true neutral of the chart.
You gotta let me know how locating Smurfs goes. Until then, we go all over the place in early adopters. This week, try to cram in some news stories. I don't even know. I've given up on the news. And then recap the first half of the year in video games for the Backlog blog. Yep, I wrote that, and I'm reading it. Then we're going to end the whole shebang this week with a homework assignment. We're handing in homework. I should clarify. We're not getting any more, hopefully not anytime soon, for the love of God.
I have, just for reference, I have one ready to go. I'm just not...
Is it your turn next?
Yes, it is, but we need a break.
I don't know that it is his turn. I think we have to go to the tape.
It goes in a rotation.
We go to the tape.
Joel, Getty, Alec, then back to the top.
I think we have to listen to 197 episodes to truly see whose turn it is.
We need to figure out what the pecking order is here, too. I'm not sure I'm ready for Alex to take the king spot.
You know, I can make you play a 20-minute game that'll make you question a whole lot of your sanity.
I'm good.
You guys have sanity?
Yeah, don't need that. Don't know what it is, don't want it, don't care. But you know what I do care about? Early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games that have nothing in common. Just the way I like it. We got 3 games this week.
Woo!
2 games I definitely played. Can anybody else say the same thing?
There were 3 games?
Yes, I played 2 of those games, most definitely.
All right, looking at the other 2 guys.
I played 1.
Oh, there was a third one. I didn't see a blue
Alex
link.
Alex is going to take a nice bite of the shit cake this week because it seems like
nice way to put it.
Seems like not too many people were able to play. I don't know what was up with that, but whatever. That's fine. So I'm going to take the first grenade here, and I'm going to jump on the Star Named Eos. I know that this is a game that I played because I selected it on Sunday morning, and I think that nobody opened the dock until about Tuesday. Check it out. But the Star Named Eos is a first-person perspective. It's a puzzle game, and you take on the role of a son and he's getting postcards and notes from his mother, who is out exploring the world, and the common theme that they have together is photography. So the mother will send postcards and pictures of where she is, and then the son, during the course of the demo, recreates one of the pictures by taking items from around his room. So the mom sends a picture of herself, well, you don't see her, but it's a picture of her on a train, and she's taken a picture of the scenery, and then you do a series of puzzles to find objects, curtains to recreate the curtains that are on the train, some flowers, but everything that he has in his room. And I really like the visuals of this game, and just how thought-provoking and beautiful the whole experience was. I know that you guys probably didn't get to play it.
I did.
For sure.
I did play this for a bit, so I can...
Okay, you did?
I
Joel, you're my hero.
I can speak a little bit to it.
Okay.
What I appreciate about this game is that the premise is very light. So it's a light touch on trying to lead you along in the story about, you're basically trying to find your picture camera. Oh, but
yeah.
In the room you're trying to find the camera, and the puzzles are all in this bedroom, and it's not terribly complicated stuff. So there'll be a lock puzzle that's one of those where you turn the dial and pull a pin out to try to move different balls. Some of them were star on them, and you had to line them up the right way in order to open it. And then it would be a very simple grab item, connect it with this merry-go-round, and then it pops open a figurine, stuff like that. And it was nice and easy. And then I hit a roadblock with, you're supposed to find a chest with the...
Is it the compass?
No, actually it was two things. I didn't know what to do with the chest with the sunflower looking thing on it.
All right.
And then the chest underneath that needed the 4 different symbol inputs. I got that the poster on the wall had one, but I didn't know where to place it. So I didn't find the other clues.
Okay, so the 2 puzzles that you hit the roadblock on, the first one with the flower, you had to hit them in the correct sequence. There was a children's book on the bookshelf. However, by completing a different puzzle, you also got a piece of paper that was ripped out of the book so that you can decode it. After that, the compass puzzle, if you looked around the room, each wall had one of the compass rose symbols on it. That one threw me for a little bit of a loop.
That was one step too smart for me at the moment.
Yeah, so it wasn't that the puzzles were terribly difficult, it's just you have to be cognizant of your surroundings and do a quick look around and see okay, so this is what I have and I need to work with it. But the way that you transition from puzzle to puzzle, it was not terribly difficult, and I felt like recreating the scene to take the picture, that was a lot of fun. And if that's the rest of the premise for the game, as you're chasing after your mother, trying to find out where she is, but also recreate all the places that she's been, I mean, I really like this, and I definitely wish-listed it right away after I finished the demo.
Same. It is the kind of low-stress scenario, at least from what they've shown so far, that is the right tempo for me right now. So I'm very interested in that.
I also, while looking at the footage of this game, I definitely wishlisted this because this looked right up my alley.
Yeah, I know point-and-click adventures are kind of hit and miss here on the podcast, but this, I love puzzles, so that was definitely a plus for it. And the relationship, you could see that it's not exactly 100% there. It's a little strained, and there's circumstances that are keeping the son from his mother. So finding out what's going on with that story definitely pulls my interest.
I also like the idea of getting photos from your mother and then trying to kind of to try to maintain some sort of relationship and closeness with her. You you kind of recreate these little things with within the context of her photos.
For sure. So that was the Star Eos. It was only available for a limited time this last week, so I do apologize to the rest of the guys on the podcast that didn't get to play, but I highly recommend, once we get closer to release, if they pop out the demo again to try it, give it a looky-loo. I think that you'll like it. Again, not terribly sophisticated with the puzzles, but at the same time, it's low stress. You're not going to lose your arm or leg if you don't solve the puzzle within a time limit.
Saint Dead Space.
I was talking about Saw, but
Both equally gory.
who wants to play a game?
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what we're here for, isn't
Yep, and that game is My Familiar.
Yeah.
Alex was already sending messages to the chat like, "Hey guys, this is definitely my jam, My Familiar."
I also want to say that there was definitely a couple of copyright infringement things that I had found throughout the game, and I was like, that seems suspect. They're actively playing a ska version of what is it? The House of
the Rising Sun?
Yeah, House of the Rising Sun. The transition between scenes is almost directly a Wu-Tang symbol. Like, come on, guys, what are we doing?
Hey,
Rules.
if they can get away with it, I say go for it. And the music in it,
I didn't
oh
catch
man,
it for what it's worth.
This
This is-
Wu-Tang. You gotta throw up the W's.
this is good stuff.
Tang. Woo. Okay. That's enough of that. The music in this kicked all sorts of ass.
Yep.
It was
Yeah, it did.
some sleek lo-fi beats, some also little chiptune combat. Also, come on, man, noir's my jam. Like these.
But this
these,
is
like, detective-
trash noir. This isn't like
Yeah.
regular. You are
best.
literally dumped into like a big heap of garbage, and you go with it. Is this
And then,
Texas?
and
This
of course
must be
you're like-
Texas.
And you're like hanging out with like a detective who's just a huge, like a real bad drunk. And you like go to his house and he's passed out, and you're like, well, I guess I'll wait for him to wake up. And then he wakes up and he goes, "What are you doing in my house? I don't like drunks in my house." It's like, what? I was just hanging out here.
Look at this mess you made.
Yeah, he was pissed.
I loved his vomit carpet.
Oh yeah, let me just hang out on my vomit carpet. Oh, it's gross.
Yeah, it was very funny. The whole thing was very funny. It also is the guise of a. Well, first off, it's the funnier part for me is that it comes out with this sleek anime cartoon, like Saturday morning cartoon, but
Yes.
real gritty and dark opening. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna get into this animation. Let's go. We've had some point and click adventures that looked like cartoons, and I was all about it. And then they cut to the game, and it's like pixel art, like top down JRPG, and I was like, oh, well, this is not what I expected. But the game played very well. The turn-based JRPG of it all was very solid, with having an SP and HP and using certain abilities. Like just have a gun. You have a starter pistol, which is kind of funny because that's you start races with. And, you get these special abilities and equipable items, and it just kind of goes from there. And what seems like the story so far is that familiars or creatures that are the spirits of people, like that people can summon and help them, when they lose their way, they end up going into this what they call Wish Island.
Yep.
And at Wish Island is where they stay until they can find their way back home.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it seems like most familiars have no desire to actually find their way back home.
Well, the ones that end up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, how about that restaurant that doubles as an inn? Buenos Nachos.
There was a couple other ones too. The bar had a funny name. What was the name of the bar? I can't remember. There was a
Good Yolk?
What was it?
Was it Good Yolk or
That might have been the.
It was that or Yolks on You or something like that.
yeah.
And that might have
Yeah.
been just the regular place where they went to eat.
Yeah, there was a lot of like good puns in there that I thought were pretty good. Yeah, and overall, I think that there is more to this demo, but I got to a point where I said, "Well, that's it. I know what this has my money." This is already like, okay, wish list done. I got far enough. I want to know more about the detective, but I don't want to find out right now.
So then how far into the story did you get with the detective?
Oh, I found the detective. He yelled at me and stormed off, and I was like, perfect. End of demo.
It just gets better from there. You start doing some odd jobs, man.
I'm very sure it does.
One of the odd jobs, Alex, you really would have liked this, but one of the odd jobs that they have you do is to go investigate funny noises coming from somebody's closet.
Yeah.
You get to the apartment, and you walk into this tiny room, and they're like, yeah, it's over there. You walk into the room, fight a battle, and then they're like, what? No, this isn't the closet. You just came from the closet. And it's like, wait, who's renting this apartment? And they're like pointing at each other, and the people in the big part of the apartment are like, man, we pay like $600 a month. And then the people in the closet are like, we pay $700. And everybody's upset.
See, again, that's real dumb. I like it.
Yeah. How about that battle system? How'd you guys feel about that?
I kind of got sucked into it with thinking Super Mario RPG. I kept trying to time my hits and dodges.
Could you do that?
No.
I was like, man, did I miss another basic mechanic? Damn. I swear I paid attention this time. I'm glad I didn't miss that one.
No, you didn't miss it, but this the combat can get complicated towards the end of the demo, where you have to start juggling things and using interrupts to keep the enemies from using powerful attacks. But like these battles are just crazy. The enemies that you encounter, from a giant heap of garbage all the way to like a bunch of sheep and a plate and a knife. Like this is real fun stuff.
And a lot of people have just like guns.
Yeah.
That's like the other thing is that like, oh, it's like we're in the mystical land. By the way, you got a gun, and then you go to a bunch of cops, and they're just like, need a passport, and it's like, you need a passport in the fairylands, and he's like, yep, get the fuck out of here. And it's like, whoa, this is like they're real serious about this. It's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it when you don't know what the rules are, and the game makes sure to mix them, so it's all very confusing.
You got to do that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So that was my familiar. This one I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Sounds like a couple of you other guys probably will too.
Oh, yeah.
Hype
It's on my
train.
wish list.
Choo choo.
That doesn't feel complete. Isn't it usually choo-choo something else?
Yeah, choo choo, motherfucker.
There we go. Thank you.
Hype train. Let's go. My familiar.
All right. And if that wasn't enough hype from Alex, he's got one more game to talk about tonight. It is Children of Silent Town. You did a review on this, sir, didn't you?
I did a review a couple weeks ago. I played it on the PlayStation 5. It should be out on everything. I know it's on the Switch and PC, so I'm not sure about Xbox. But Children of Silent Town is kind of a point-and-click adventure in that you find items and use those items to solve puzzles in the environment to tell a story. And it's what really kind of stands it out is that it is a very Tim Burton-esque art style. If you're looking at this game, everyone's got giant eyes that are real sunken to the point that they're just like black holes. So everyone looks real creepy, which is the interesting part about that is I kind of was like, oh man, this is going to be a real creepy, spooky game. And it really isn't. It's just like it's just a very kind of basic story. It's not a bad thing. But it's when characters don't have pupils, it creeps me the hell out. And you think that, and they have like shadows and dark, and like everything's really like got sharp edges. Everyone's like their feet are just points to the ground, very Invader Zim, as you would.
Okay.
So that's where it kind of comes in for me, where I'm like, this is going to be a real creepy one. And actually, it's a story about a town that is so afraid of leaving that there's been a fable that when you go outside of the city limits, the town, it's a very small town, it's surrounded by forest, and creatures are there to murder you, and they like sirens. They will call you to the forest and then murder you. So it's just this young girl who is trying to understand what happened and why that is the case. And, she kind of has that mentality of, I don't like, there has to be an explanation. And of course, throughout the story, like people close to her start to get taken by the forest. And it's just a real big mystery of trying to figure out what is taking people out of the forest and what's really kind of going on with the story. And it's a pretty good game. It's I want to say like 6 hours or so. I just will say that I kind of wanted a little bit more resolution, but I'm a sucker for point and click adventures. I don't have like a set genre. Like I'm not the guy for things, but there are definitely I will definitely try any FMV game, and I will definitely try any point and click adventure game, just out of like morbid curiosity. So with this one, I kind of jumped on this one just because I was very curious about it. And, again, it's a very cool, like, folk story. But if you're looking for, like, horror, this is not that game.
Okay.
So that's where I think that, like, there was a little bit of, like, confusion in my brain.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But you do also, it's like you pick up an item to, figure, like, I'm going to use this item later, and you go give it to somebody, and they use it to, like, break through a wall, and then you go through the wall to find a new area, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of that puzzles. I also judge point-and-click adventures based on, like, one major criteria, which is that how much do the puzzles make sense? In a lot of them, there's always, like, just try every item on everything, and eventually you'll figure it out, even if it doesn't make sense. And that's always a folly for me, like a real big sticking point when that happens, because it frustrates me when they don't make sense. And I will say this was probably a good 80% made sense, and that's good. That's a good number.
Good.
80% is a good number because some of my favorite point-and-click adventures have like 60 to 50%. 50 to 60. It's like, oh man, I can't remember. Something of Play, Lost in Play, which we played in early adopters before. I reviewed that one, and that was like a good 60% made sense, and the rest of them kind of were just like, I don't know, throw some stuff together. So
something's got to work, right?
Exactly. So I think that this one had a pretty good quotient of all the puzzles generally make sense.
Highly recommend.
If you want a good a solid point-and-click adventure, a good solid one that's not going to get you too frustrated on the puzzles, yeah, definitely.
All right.
I don't think I think I like Lost in Play for its creativity and its story more. I feel like that went places that I was very like unexpected to me. This kind of went where I thought it would go.
All right. And where can we find that review that you definitely wrote by yourself without an AI?
On superggradio.com.
What? That's a thing?
Superggradio.com.
For all your video gaming needs. Nope, that doesn't sound right.
Not right now, no, but hopefully in the future.
all your video gaming. We buy, sell?
No, we're working on something. We're working on something.
Do we have an ad copy for it yet? Should I have read it?
Not yet.
When can I start pushing poggers?
I mixed it into my Monaco.
Oh man, I am disgusted.
No, I didn't. I didn't actually do that.
I did. But you thought it. And that's the
I
problem.
thought that'd be very funny.
And nobody here put it past you.
What if I put the sleepy time stuff in a Red Bull?
I don't know that I want to be peddling bootleg for Loco.
No, at this point, that's purple drink. Get us out of here. I'm having a whole bunch of bad ideas here.
Let's try and find some more clues and solve the mystery of who picked the games this week. Let's take a break. Well, hey News. Just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, we got matching fedoras for the whole crew. All right, guys, reach under your chair. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I didn't get you fedoras.
Reached under my chair.
But I did get you the news. And the news this week is crazy. Did you guys know that Evo lineup got announced this week?
Yep.
Because I sure didn't.
I was very excited.
What's
for
an
this.
Evo?
What's it? It's a fighting tournament.
It's basically the fighting game tournament of the year. I mean, they're the big boys of the club. They're the AAA. So
And then also,
It's just Smash Brothers, right?
except Smash Brothers.
Nintendo has pulled their games from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nintendo's a bunch of pain in the butts. Also, I was going to say is that a lot of like fighting game tournaments throughout the country and in other countries, so I guess throughout the world, will be hosting their competitions as Road to Evo. Meaning if you were good enough to get into these competitions and win, you could then get a free ride to Evo.
Okay. How do we get you into that, Alex?
I don't know. The one time we were going to go, it got closed to COVID. There was one.
How do we get
there was
you-
one like 10 minutes from your house.
To Evo.
Alex, of these games, which one do you think you did good enough to be at Evo for?
There's only one that I. Oh,
Hold on. So those games are,
King of
because
Fighter.
nobody else can see that.
King
Street
of Fighter. 15.
So we got Street Fighter, Guilty Gear Strive, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken 7, King of Fighters, is that 15? Sure, let's
Also,
just pick an
it's also
arbitrary
Street
number.
Fighter 6. That's
Oh, Street Fighter, that, hold on a second. That out right now?
No.
Okay, good. Melty Blood, don't know what that is. Mortal Kombat 11, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So those are the games that Alex could get good at. Which one, in reality, will you get good at?
I could have gotten good at King of Fighters 15, and I am okay at Guilty Gear Strive, and I am okay at Street Fighter 6. I am okay to decent at Dragon Ball FighterZ.
I'm still thoroughly confused. How much Street Fighter 6 have you played?
The betas. It's been 2 betas. Well, there's actually
All-
been 3 betas. I only played 2.
All of them? And what were you running, like 15-0?
1 and 5. Boom.
Okay, I don't know if I qualify that as okay. All right. I apologize to the fighting game community. We will not be throwing any hats or fedoras into the ring this year.
No,
Next
man,
year,
let's doing money bets on Catherine speed runs. Let's go.
Where is it this year?
It's in Vegas. It's in Vegas every year. The road to Evo, I don't know.
All right.
Evo itself is in Vegas every year.
So Vegas trip? Vegas trip.
Woo!
Vegas trip. Vegas trip.
Can we expense this?
Yes.
We can
How do we expense
tell
it? I
we
don't
can
know.
tell Kelly that it's been expensed and then yeah.
The question is, how do you expense it? Is the real thing.
You send your ticket to Alex. You send him all of your receipts.
I
I
mean,
said I don't know how to expense things.
I don't know. Anyway, that's not the only thing that happened this week. I think there was a state of play today. I did not see it. But I have it on good authority that here are some of the things that Alex saw. Foglands. PlayStation VR 2 Card Battler First-Person Shooter. That's a thing?
You put out. If you think about what is that? What was the other game? There was a card game that also you were just shooting guns. It's not the first time that shooting
Neon
guns
White?
and Neon White and putting cards together have really been combined. This has been done before now in VR.
Okay. You're going to get that, right?
Oh man,
I don't.
I thought it was like Yu-Gi-Oh with guns.
That would be
The
that
only
would be a
thing
game.
to make Yu-Gi-Oh cooler is guns.
I don't know, man. I watched all that Yu-Gi-Oh, the original series, last year. Boy, let me tell you, it's good stuff.
It's pretty cool.
Don't do it. Don't watch it. All right, Humanity, from the makers of Tetris Effect. Is this game Tetris Effect?
No, it is.
Moving on.
Looks-
Goodbye, Volcano High.
That's fine. It looks really good. It looks really good, to be fair.
Oh, okay. What is it, though? Is it a Tetris-like game? Is it
No.
puzzles? Is it what do we got here?
You are what looks to be a little white fox, and you are like trying to save humanity by moving them almost like, not quite lemmings. They follow you and you give instructions, and and it's like looks like be like hundreds and hundreds of people will follow your directions till you get them to their salvation. And there are levels where you're just like, again, this white fox and giving instruction, teaching people how to push a block and move around and then get to the salvation point where they get risen up to heaven, it looks like.
Okay.
And, there are like custom levels. People can make their own levels and put them up on the clouds for you can play them. There's a lot of stuff going on in this game. It looks really cool. It's got the same kind of Tetris effect, kind of techno-y, but still very zen, a soundtrack going. It looks really cool.
Until you have a
optional
complete
VR.
meltdown and freak out and...
Because you're watching half of humanity just die? Yeah, I'm sure.
No, yeah. But I was thinking more like, oh man, I'm doing pretty good at this stage. And then it goes from, 4 speed to 17. And then the whole... Yep, just like that.
And everyone dies.
And everyone dies. All right, then goodbye, Volcano High.
This is one of those kind of visual novel, but also like rhythm / RPG game with a bunch of mini games in between. Getty, look at games like what was one of your games of the year last year?
Are you trying to say
OFK.
Welcome to Elk?
No,
that
we
one.
are OFK or Welcome to Elk, or what's the one we're really excited for now from the people who did Welcome to Elk? About the
Dead
band?
Pet Society.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Pet Society. This is another one of those.
Okay.
It looks really cool. And
Now you've sold me on it.
Yep. Goodbye, Volcano High.
And then last one here is Naruto Baruto Ultimate Ninja Collection. Do you know what that includes? Is it just... What? Is it everything?
But I'm not sure how many. Let me see. I actually got a press release for this.
Is it like Ninja Storm? Because those are a lot of fun.
Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections features the largest roster. I'm I'm reading the press release now, and it's not giving me a list, which is what you need, right? It's actually Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. It's connections.
I don't need a list. Hold on, because I got Ultimate Ninja Storm. I think it was 2 last year for $5 or so. Yeah, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. So those games are kind of fun. They are. You're taking the role of a character, and then it's just like a fighting game. You move from point to point. You'll do some like platforming and other stuff, and then you'll get to a battle, and then you do a battle
This is actually not what I thought it was. This is the full story.
But it follows the story.
Yes, but it also takes key points from those other games.
Yeah, so these are really good if you're looking for a recap of all the events that happened.
Almost like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Yeah, so I'm sure that they're both made by Bandai here.
Yep.
Like they know exactly what to do here. They're like, oh, you want to play Naruto, but you don't, or you want to recap the story, but you don't want to watch 500 hours of anime? Here's a pretty comprehensive game with okay mechanics.
And it goes all the way to Baruto.
Yep. So that's kind of neat. Those games are, if you look, you could normally get them on a sale for dirt cheap. So, and they run really well on Steam Deck. Don't tell anyone. All right.
Also, we got some really extensive look at just the Suicide Squad kills Justice League, which that is what everyone thought, which is it is a live service game, a la Destiny. And we also got a lot of good deep looks at Resident Evil 4.
Ooh.
And that looks just as good. With there are some scenes that are taken directly from the original, but there is a lot of other updated mechanics and story plot points.
Cool. Speaking of no Final Fantasy?
No.
Okay. No Final Fantasy. What I meant to say was, speaking of Resident Evil 4, you're going to get a free VR game, aren't you?
They have been doing this more so since Resident Evil 7. They put a VR update for PlayStation VR, and then Resident Evil 8 got also that PlayStation VR update. So now they're going to have it included in Resident Evil 4.
So
though they actually released a Resident Evil 4 original VR version.
If I get you RE4 with the VR, are you going to play the VR?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I have RE7 installed, and I put the mods in there to make it VR because the RE7 VR version is only for PlayStation VR, but I got the mods for the PC version. I'm ready to go.
Did you play it?
I have a... As with,
that's what I thought.
No. The actual question, the actual answer is a very stupid one, which is, as any one of my consoles that I'm playing, I have an extensive backlog of like at least 7 games installed.
That sounds like a cop out.
No, I'm trying right now. I'm trying to beat What the Bat, which I'm 2/3 of the way done with that one.
What I was hoping you were going to say is, yes, of course, I've already beaten RE7 VR.
I would have mentioned it to you.
Yeah, you probably would have peed your pants at least once too.
Yes.
Man, that game's spooky.
The plan is to pee my pants.
Okay. I will be there to hold your pants.
I keep trying to get you to come over to play with me. You can hold my pants.
I don't want to play VR.
No, you can just hang out. Just hang out with me and tell me it's okay every once in a while. Damn.
But are you going to be able to hear me?
Yes. You'll be sitting right next. You'll be sitting on the couch. I'll have it on the screen. You can watch. And then I say, Getty, is it okay? And you'll be like, everything's okay, Alex. And then we'll be good.
Nope. And then the Spider Woman will jump out and. Oh, you remember there's a Spider Woman, right?
It. They actually.
Wait, have you not played this game?
No, I've not. And they also released Kill It with Fire VR.
Hey, Kill It with Fire is a legit game.
I would get that for VR just so you could play it.
I need to go back and play through it because they released an anniversary edition, and I just,
a 1-year anniversary edition?
Yeah. A 1-year anniversary edition. Man, I just want to see what's going on, see if they updated any of it. It was a fun game.
Again, you can play it at my house in VR.
No. It takes some of the fun out of it.
You also hate leaving the house.
Well, when you work as much as I do.
You're agoraphobic.
There's outside the house. Who wants that?
Yeah. Lame. All right.
What's next?
Next thing. What do we got here? I'm going to skip that one for right this second.
That's for you. I just messed it up.
What are you doing? The Blumhouse Productions is starting a video game division? Because that's definitely for me.
No, the one before that. So Blumhouse Productions, the
horror movie
horror film franchise,
yep.
right? Is making their own video game production company. So they do TV shows now, which is like a whole thing.
They do.
I did not realize. Their latest
hit.
hit.
What is a horror movie I would know from that?
Megan is the newest hit.
I don't know if I call that a hit, but
I mean, everyone's talking about it.
Everybody's talking about it, but I think it's because it's so campy.
Yep.
I'm sure that you've seen some of the really janky dancing.
They
Black
do Halloween.
Phone.
They do Halloween.
Get Out.
Insidious.
The
Black Phone.
I said that already.
Did you?
You're drunk, sir.
No, not
Happy
quite.
Death Day. The Purge.
Oh, okay. I've heard of Happy Death Day and The Purge.
Insidious.
Yeah, these are not all the best, but a lot of horror movies
Activity.
Yeah,
there you go.
A lot of horror movies from the last, 10, 15 years? Maybe a little bit longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Some hits, some misses.
A lot more misses, I'd say.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of these. Some of them are pretty good, though.
Which Halloween?
Those Purge movies.
Just the last one.
Okay.
I think.
All right, that was good.
The newest. The last two they did.
Oh, the last two. Yeah.
And this also says Five Nights at Freddy's.
That is not a movie yet. They're working on it.
You want to make a bet?
I said not yet. They're working on it, Getty. Stop trying to bet me stuff that I didn't bet.
How's that Borderlands movie doing?
Yep.
It's coming out. Wait, Joel, that's your bet.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, you got to give him $20 when it comes out.
Someone check the tapes and get back to me.
No, that's for sure. Like, I know for a fact that's what it is.
Play me the audio, Getty. Otherwise, read the next story.
He wants the receipts.
Yep.
He's gonna get my receipts for when we go to Vegas for Evo. Shinji Mikami leaving Tango Gameworks. This is for me?
I thought you'd be really sad about that. That's your Evil Within people. He was the head guy behind Evil Within 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yep. I know you love those games.
But he's just leaving that studio, right?
Yeah, so he might either make his own studio or he might go under somebody else, but Evil Within will no longer be with him.
Okay.
His last game was Hi-Fi
like,
Rush, and that was a hit.
Yeah. I felt like that series came to a conclusion. I don't need it to go anywhere else.
Okay.
You played all those games, right?
No, but I want to.
What the hell? Will you play something that I've played? No? Okay. Mortal Kombat 12 coming out this year.
That was leaked.
Are we in the future?
That was leaked in an investment meeting that they were like, we have lots of good games coming out this year, including Mortal Kombat 12. And everyone was like, wait, what? You had not said that before.
All right.
Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, posted something about, y'all see that announcement about Injustice 3? Or how do you feel about that announcement for Injustice 3? So, would you want an Injustice 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you play the first two?
Those games are awesome.
I played the first one. It was a lot of fun. I never jumped on the second one.
It's good stuff, and they can just keep adding a bigger roster of characters. There's plenty of iterations of all of the characters across the DC universe.
And also, that's a very long ongoing comic book storyline.
Oh yeah, they just keep dropping more people in and killing them off.
The first game encompasses what I think was 5 years of story, 5 years of the game starts, and then there's 5 years of stuff happening, a war between Batman and Superman, and then it ends at the game, and then there's Injustice 2, which is again another 5 years of what they say story is going.
What I liked about Injustice 1 is that it had that weight of a Neversoft fighter, of a Mortal Kombat, but it doesn't go quite as far as they do with the fatalities. As they've done more real, it's been tough for me to watch every so often some of those fatalities for the modern day stuff. So
yeah,
you should check out the Injustice 2. One of the DLC characters is all 4 Ninja Turtles playing as one character.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Also, Hellboy.
You get Hellboy.
Ooh.
If you want. You don't have to have him though. All right, we got
Mr.
freebies
Hellboy
this week.
Nasty. Mr. Hellboy if you're nasty.
Freebies.
Okay, Hey, Brok, insert the freebie sound here.
Freebies.
Freebies!
All right. We got Duskers over on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, you pilot drones into a derelict spaceship to find means to survive and piece together how the universe became a graveyard in a post-apocalypse. This is more wireframe, top-down, kind of icon-based roaming as you pilot these drones to find more information. Also, there is some command key prompts, so it's more of a typing hacker-style game. Pretty cool.
All right. We got Unheard over on Steam.
The game follows a chinchilla.
Okay. I was going to say Herd, H-E-R-D.
There you go. You are following what looks like a beam of light and leading a chinchilla to kind of figure out how to defeat the Unheard, which are little spooky ghosts with little sheets over their heads.
Crazy. Okay. Outpost on Steam.
Let's see here. That's not the one I was thinking of.
What were you thinking of?
No. Outpost is fine. There's also Outpost Infinity Siege, which is not out yet.
Oh.
Outpost. There we go. I found it. Is a voxel Minecraft survival game, top down. Chopping down trees to getting some stone and making an axe and making a fire and trying to build a house and get food. Otherwise, you start to starve, etc.
Okay. Soul Guardians on Steam.
Soul Guardians is a 2D action RPG. You're platforming and hack and slashy, a little bit like a Dead Cells, but very heavy on the anime. So, pretty cool.
All right. Last but not least, Deluge, Sermon of the Dead on Steam.
This is an early access dungeon crawler, first person going through these dungeons, twisting and turning and fighting enemies, mixed with an anime visual novel.
All right. We did it.
We did it. You didn't do anything, Joel.
Exactly.
He's really digging into you.
That's part of the plan.
Okay.
We go in a loop. It's mostly Getty digs into me, and then I dig into Joel. And Alex sits there happily.
Hey, I'm good with being the fly on the wall.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. How was I supposed to know that no one wears fedoras anymore? That's fine. I didn't get you guys fedoras. Let's talk some fashion points and take a break. Alright, and we're back. We're back with the Backlog blog where we play games that are only 40 plus hours. So I'm the only person that's going to be talking this week. I finished Fire Emblem Engage and I've started Pokemon Scarlet.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
Not at all.
Didn't go for Violet?
Let me tell you about Fire Emblem Engage.
Please no.
You know how many tropes there are in that game? Wake
please
up.
no.
Amnesia. Mm-hmm. At one point, your character says, "I am the Fire Emblem."
Getty, what if I am the Fire Emblem?
Are you? Bitch.
Oh, shots fired.
Get us out of here, Getty.
Fine. So I guess we're just going straight into the homework turn-in for the week. We played Heroes of Might and Magic 3 HD Edition. And you said that's it? That's my whole job for the week, so I don't have to say anything else?
Nope.
All right. Bye. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 HD Edition. Alec's choice for homework. What inspired this homework assignment?
I saw it on sale and I've been meaning to buy it for a while again. It was a pure nostalgia trip.
Played it a lot. When did this originally come out? This is a bit of an older game, isn't it?
95?
Could be. What do you guys think? 95? That sound right?
That sounds right.
That'd be around.
99.
99.
Let's say DOS was a thing.
I don't think it was a DOS game.
No.
No.
No, but that's still quite a while ago. About 23, 24 years, if math is a thing. So, yeah. What else? Why are we playing Heroes of Might and Magic? Is there a particular thing that you wanted for us to get out of it?
So this was one of those... I never got into Civilization or a lot of the other real-time strategy games or other turn-based strategy games for that matter. This particular game always had me one more turning. It was the first game that, I just take one more turn and holy shit, it's time to go to school.
Early morning gaming.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
Not a thing
started
in
at
my
night.
life anymore. You think so? Were you up all night and playing some Heroes of Might and Magic?
Oh, there were definitely days.
Days. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the experience that I had with it. I felt like I must be doing something wrong because everybody was able to finish this one relatively quickly while I'm sitting there struggling for... I probably played for 2-3 times as long as the rest of you guys trying to make it through the campaign that I selected. And
Well,
Alex
hold on.
Alex added it to the beat list for himself, so I played for about 16 hours on this bad boy, trying to make it through the Save the Queen campaign. Hold on. No, that's not what it's called. Long Live the Queen campaign.
Also, let's just make it clear that as soon as Alec assigned it, roughly a month ago, that evening after the podcast, I started playing this, and I was up till about 12:30, 1 o'clock, literally like just texting the chat. Wait, this doesn't work, and this also doesn't work. I got to figure out. I'm Googling, guys. I'm Googling. Hold on. Oh wait, you have to click on the picture. Wait, that menu doesn't work. Hold on, I'm gonna figure this out. Like it was like till like 12.
I don't know. I felt like everything was pretty intuitive, but my brain doesn't work like everybody else's. How about you, Joel? What was your experience with the controls on it?
Well, so I have to come with the context that I am familiar with the series. I also played Heroes of Might and Magic growing up. I want to say mine was 2, not 3, but structurally they're pretty much the same thing. You're going through, you're sort of acting as a general or commander of your township or country, nation state thing, and then you are employing your heroes throughout, and it definitely scratches that one more turn kind of sensibility. But the fun thing to me about it is that where you said Civilization, Alec, and you didn't get into that, this feels like a fun like mirror to that, where Civilization's about nation building, and this is about open warfare. So it's very different style and focus, and I always appreciate it for that as a nice like complementary thing to Civ.
Yeah, Civ definitely had more of the you can go any way you want. You could have multiple ways to win, whereas this very much has that feeling of, nope, I'm just going to obliterate everything. Give me the biggest, most powerful army, and let me take over all the castles and obliterate all the other heroes.
Right, and because it is battle-focused, the escalation goes a lot quicker than a Civ game. Civ is a slow burn build-up, and this is a quick, you are running the treadmill to get the resources to be able to buy the right garrisons and build up your armies so you can then just send waves of monsters over as cannon fodder until you did it completed.
Yes.
And I know that you are capable of actually using the combat and choosing your monsters input on the field. I never did. I definitely I would maybe choose a spell at the start, auto battle it from there. I know that there's nuance to it. I'm sure there is, but I always had a lot more fun focusing on the overworld stuff and the resource gathering side of it, because I was able to just use people as meat shields, towards the end goal.
Very nice. Yeah, the combination there of the overworld and the micro control. I enjoy the juxtaposition of both of those things.
And I definitely, as somebody that didn't know what I was doing, that was kind of how I ended up finishing it, was me just like every time I saw, like I must have damn near restarted this 9 to 10 times.
Yep.
And I want to say the first night it was like 4 times in a row. And I got so, like, I knew where everything was. I knew what I was looking at as far as the map was concerned. For me, it was, I was looking for menus instead of clicking on images. Clicking on the images would bring up these menus. And finding I was more fumbling with the mechanics of the time. Moving my character, like, across the map wasn't a problem. But to get them into the town, you had to, you had to click right in between the flags, and if your character just gets close enough, it blocks you from clicking the right spot, and then you have to waste time in your turn to go back and forward to try to get them back in town. Eventually, I got used to it really quick, but it's just more the fact that I didn't even know, because my character wouldn't get into the town, I just assumed that I didn't need to be in town, and I was like, well, that's not getting any spells, etc., etc. But what helped me a lot was playing, and I had mentioned this before, I was playing a lot of, I was trying to learn Warhammer 3, and Warhammer 3 is very similar in a lot of ways to this game. And that's for me where I was like, oh, Warhammer 3 does a little bit better just because it's a modern game that just came out. The sensibility of that tutorial, which really is a heavy-handed stop, click here, going through that tutorialized Heroes of Might and Magic 3 for me in a way that I better understood how it goes. Even like the battles, you just see one troop represents 50 to 100 troops, and even that didn't like click in my head. And like when you play Warhammer 3, it is just the giant army, but it's like, oh, it shows your icon, oh, here's your spearmen, but it just says like 100. I'm like, oh, okay, it's the same thing as Heroes of Might and Magic, just when I actually battle, you put all the troops out. Here you just get them represented as the character, and it makes sense. Yeah. So what's funnier is that the Heroes of Might and Magic tutorial is, here's one tutorial scenario, and then here's a PDF guide. Do what the PDF says in that tutorial scenario, and you'll be okay. And I was like, oh, weird. I don't know. That's hard for me. I was like, okay. But I eventually figured it out, and then it just ended up being that I was, whenever I built up my troop, I had memorized the map enough in that one scenario that I could get resources, build up my army, level my character up to the max level. Then I would just explore, and anytime I came to any other opposition, I was like, well, I'm just going to just decimate this person. And I did, and I kept doing it, and then at one point he goes, oh, he spawned a new hero. I'm going to go decimate that one. Oh, he spawned a new hero. I'm going to go decimate that one. And then eventually he goes, okay, you no longer have any opposition. Complete it at your whim. And I was like, oh, perfect. Okay, done. So it was very fun, and especially I found it very fascinating because, again, this is not my genre at all. And I was really excited to get into it, and I'm very happy I did. So I think that was a great choice.
Now, so we all have picked different campaigns, I'm assuming, for at least there be one overlap. I went with the Infernal campaign. Getty, you went with the Angels. Alex, what did you go with?
He has no idea.
Yes, I don't know.
Well, Undead?
It was either the Undead or it was whatever the one that wasn't like, it worked like good guys.
Yeah, I did the same.
And Joel? Okay. Now, I don't know if you can put this on the beat list until you beat all 7
That's
campaigns.
what I was thinking.
Okay, that's fine. Watch this.
I'm not going to watch anything. So, I know that you guys have likened this to Civ a couple of times. I didn't play Civ. I didn't play Heroes of Might and Magic. I was an Age of Empires kid. So, for me, the transition between the turn-based combat to the world-building, leveling up your towns, it was, I don't know if I want to say jarring, but it sure wasn't what I was accustomed to. Because it was always, you would go in, upgrade your town, build all of the different parts to it, and it expands across the map, like Civ. And then, as you're building, you're also expanding your empire, seizing resources, but the way that the campaign is set for Age of Empires, everything is in pretty manageable little bites. You know, some of them can go longer, they can go shorter, depending on how you play. I felt like Heroes of Might and Magic, there aren't very many situations where you're going to be able to get in and out quickly. You have to really take the time to explore, make sure that you're managing your resources, but also that you're finding all of the secrets that are hidden around the map. Because those are the things that are really going to help you in the end. Some of the stuff that you can find is absolutely crazy. Like, when you get towards the end, I don't know if you guys were doing some of the like side quests that people would give you, but you'd come across like a tree and it'd be like, okay, I need you to go find these angel wings. So explore the map, try and find them, finally find them, make your way back, and it takes like 4 or 5 turns for you to get all the way back to your home base, and then hand it in, and it's like, all right, you get 1 angel. Like, okay. Did I need to do that? Not really. Was it... They're the more powerful unit that you could get in the campaign that I played.
Oh, okay.
So, but at the end of that campaign, I was also building. I was taking over enemy buildings and being able to make devils, dragons, and angels. I had access to everything towards the end. It was still a pain in the butt. It was really tedious. Some of those things were just absolutely insane. I had 5 heroes going at one point.
Now, how did you handle your heroes? Me personally, what I did is I would have my roam heroes, and then I'd have my pack mules. So, like, I would have 2 heroes that their whole job was to explore with a decent-sized army so they could mow down stuff as quickly as possible. And then I'd have the other heroes at the actual towns. So when you got to the new wheat, where you could start buying new enemy or new monster encampments and stuff, you would then backpack them with that and meet each other in the middle.
To trade off troops.
Right,
yeah.
right.
I absolutely had to do that. And at the same time, I would use those ones that were muling or pack muling for me to go and collect resources so that I could still go after the enemies. If you let them get too powerful, it was ridiculous. You wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So I would even have, at times, one hero that would go after an enemy, check to see what they left at their base, and then see what they had on them, and then attack on divided fronts. Send the weaker guy, if it had less stuff to kill, after their hero, and then go after the base. And some of the bases, they weren't so bad to take over, but then towards the end, again, I'm hitting like stuff where it's 100 of this thing, the eye monsters, the beholders. Fuck them. That's all I'm gonna say.
They're the worst.
Yeah, and then bunch of skeletons, bunch of other bullshit, and it's like, man, even with the ballista, even with magic spells, I felt like I was still getting my ass kicked at times. It is a test of endurance, to be sure. Is it worth it at the end? I would say so. It is a good accomplishment to make it through a campaign and not feel like an awful human being.
I think that there is, when I've been doing this here and there every once in a while, just like I want to say once a month or once every 2 months, I kind of go back to like a classic game and just see like, does this hold up? And usually the answer is no. I will say that this game definitely holds up, especially considering that, and I keep bringing that up, but it's more the fact that this game is more influential than I knew. By playing Total War Warhammer 3, it really reflected to me that these mechanics still work. The system still works. If you were to say make a remake of this series and you put a couple of menus in there and a brand new like coat of paint, you do like a Dead Space, you're going to make everything really detailed and beautiful 3D. You could do that. These mechanics would work really well.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure, they proved that with Age of Empires releasing a new game. I think it was last year. But when was the last time there was a Heroes of Might and Magic game? Because there are, 7? When did 7 come out? Is there anything after 7?
There's Might and Magic Clash of Heroes that I don't know if that quite does it.
No, that says it was in 2011. So 7 says that it came out in 2016, and it looks... Some of the animations look like Warcraft. Just this intro video itself. And then let's see if it's got any of the gameplay. Yeah, they upgraded the gameplay a bit. It doesn't look so awesome, but I feel like that's probably as close as you're going to get. Yeah, you could do it. It's very possible.
Now, Alec.
Yeah.
Suggest Total War Warhammer 3.
I'm going to put that one on my wish list.
Excellent. Especially, again, if you like this one, for fans of Heroes of Might and Magic 3. But it's really cool to kind of... I know that The video game homework is supposed to find what you find as some of the best video games out there for you in your personal taste, things that meant something to you. And in this case, Alec, you knocked it out of the ballpark.
Thank you.
I feel like I got a little bit more understanding of your gaming history, and also learned a little bit about myself, as I don't play any of these genres of games, or like any of like these types of games. I don't play Civ. I don't play anything like this.
Would you consider it a sexual awakening?
No, but I will say it definitely it definitely unleashed some latent skills I was unaware I had.
In bed.
Thank you. Somebody had to say it. So we like to end video game homework with a rating system. We're going to run down the list here, and just an overall feeling based on the mechanics, the time that you had, music, visuals, whatever you have that you want to consider into it. Assign a letter grade, S being the highest tier, S quality, and then after that, everything down to the lowly F, which we've got plenty of those from regular school, so we don't need any of them here. I would give this a B-. I had a little bit of difficulty towards the end. I found it to be quite a slog. However, there's a lot of redeeming qualities. The gameplay itself, the turn-based mechanics that you can control, or you can let the computer control it, combined with building your own realm, was a lot of fun. There's still so much stuff that I can go back and explore myself. So I'm going to call it that. Joel?
I would say it is a solid B+. It is definitely aged by this point, comparably, or at least the stretcher, while solid, feels more bare bones than some of the other games in the genre. But what I do appreciate is that in this is that it's streamlined, right? The inputs you have are limited, but just because it's a limited tool set doesn't mean it's not something that you can bend the rules on or try to change your strategy. It becomes very much a strategy focused game in that way, and I definitely appreciate it for that. This is a good trip down the memory lane. I don't know how much longer it'll be before I play it again, though.
Okay. Alex?
B+. Again, there's not a genre for me, and I know that, so I stay away from these. But coming into it, I found that it was a lot more fun than I had originally thought. I wasn't going into it I wasn't dreading this, but I definitely was ready to struggle, and then I found that the struggle was worth it in the end. I feel like I was very proud of the progress that I made and learned how to do the game, play these types of games and understand it a little bit better, if by proxy, just like playing other stuff around it. And it also kind of made me think that, I still don't think this genre is for me, but I'm much happier now checking these kinds of things out. I know, like, games like XCOM, I now just actively avoid. So
It avoids you too.
I don't think I will avoid these types of games anymore. I don't necessarily think I'll be jumping at the gun for them, but I definitely don't think that I'm not, just because it is one of these games doesn't mean it's not necessarily for me. And I'm happy about that.
Good. Makes you question your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Alec, your game, final.
I'm going to give it a solid B+ as well. The graphics are aged, but the gameplay is solid. It's still one more turn to me far more often than I'd like to admit.
Good stuff. Well, I would call this homework a rousing success. What will the future hold? Probably disappointment. So let's live the high for tonight and move on over to one last thing. And this one last thing is brought to you by an unlimited amount of Last of Us memes. In that episode from previous Sunday, Joel has, not our podcast Joel, but Joel from The Last of Us has a heart murmur, heart palpitation. He's not feeling great. And my life has now been subjected to Alex saying random stuff followed by those pictures.
It's all over Twitter, too.
Yeah, so memes out the wazoo. My one last thing is good luck, guys. This weekend I'm going to be out of town, so I don't know how much work I'm going to be able to do for the podcast at all.
That's fine.
Yeah, have fun.
Take a break. Take a break,
Alex.
My one last thing is spending 45 minutes to an hour on the same section of a spaceship in Hard Space Shipbreakers, only to have the same outcome of me trying to decouple a fuel tank and having it blow up entirely in my face.
Ouch.
That's
a hard reset?
It's a hard reset. No, it doesn't kill my character. I keep hard resetting because I want the scrap. I want it intact. I don't want to fail. You don't fail missions. It just makes it so that your progress is slower. But I want it.
So you're safe, Scum.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
That's
but
fine.
we knew that he does that, so.
That's fine for me. It's a game that I'm just there to collect resources in a job simulator.
It's fine for me. That's how I got all the endings for the games I wanted. Joel.
Not my one last thing, but by the way, save scumming is very important in Heroes of Might and Magic. Just as an end cap to that. I got a tale for you guys from Roblox here. So, my son has found a game called Doors on Roblox. It is a horror game where you're in a scary hotel and you have to exit 100 different rooms to leave. And as expected, there's jump scares, flattering lights, and creepy monsters to scare you. I was surprised at the level of detail people have figured out how to build a game in that engine with. It's still Roblox characters, but it looks like a natural hotel. It's not just some empty space with platforms to jump around in. And then two, the people who designed the game have very good sense of horror timing. So I didn't jump, but my kids definitely did. So interesting how that whole scene is developing.
Did you watch that game theory I sent you?
5 minutes of it. It's on my to watch, but it
goes on the whole lore. Apparently, there's a whole bunch of hidden messages and stories in that game. Nothing bad though.
Good.
It's more the fact that it's telling a really a scary story via environmental storytelling. Mm-hmm. So it's actually there's even more to that game than you realize because there's a lot of environmental storytelling stuff.
Alec?
I've found out that Metroid games are a lot harder than I remember them being, at least if you're 8. My kids saw me playing Prime, wanted to try it out, and just couldn't get the hang of it. Fair enough, new to first-person shooters, so let's try it a little bit easier. Let's step it back to Dread. Nope, can't figure out how to run and slide at the same time. So we're stepping it back to Super Metroid this weekend.
What about just Minecraft?
No, that's not the point. You missed the whole point of the story.
Well, no, but the point for me is if you want to get them up to there, you got to step them up. I feel like you got to step.
I don't know that Minecraft is the step that you need to take.
Maybe just
if you want it for first
Metroid.
person.
Yeah.
Well, also, I was going to say first-person camera control.
Make sure that you Sherpa them well, and what was it? 3 missiles, Alex? 3 missiles?
Yep.
Completely rage quit because he didn't realize it was 3 whole missiles.
I beat that game.
He only did 2.5.
You shut your dirty mouth.
I will not. I'm going to have fun with that. All right.
At least it's harder to break a cartridge than it is a CD.
Still can do it.
Won't stop him.
Also did not save those animals. Screw them.
Way to really level us out there. All right, that'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Twitter at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where we stream on Twitch. This is a fact. Today, right now, for instance, Thursday, we are streaming our podcast. Can you believe it? I sure can't. What is the internet? We got some random spouts of Joel playing Vampire Survivors. It could be on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, sometimes even a Saturday or Sunday. You're going to find your way back to Escape Academy.
I'm going to target actually Saturday here.
This Saturday.
So by after this recording, it'll already be past. So sorry, everyone.
Make them watch the
Archive.
the podcast live stream so that they know when to catch you live. All right, Mondays. Alex is still moving through his backlog.
Yes, but that may adjust to be VR backlog. I'm working on a thing.
He's working on a thing. And then on Tuesdays, Alex is skate, excelling, and chill.
Yeah,
Skater
shout out to all of our new homies that were hanging out with me while we were Skater Excel and chilling, talking some beats, talking some rhymes, also talking our Skater Excel stats and mods that are going on with the community. What's up, guys? Glad to see you guys hanging out. Much appreciated.
Nice. All right, if you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG, Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
And good game, Alec.
GG.
Good night.